Am I the a-hole for telling my grandmother she won't go to heaven? Almost a year ago, my 37 daughter, 14, passed away. It's been devastating. Before she passed, she had become active in supporting LGBTQ movement and had even questioned her own gender identity. At the time of her passing she had said she/her pronouns were okay. At the funeral, my ex spoke and he referred to our daughter as his son. This upset my 73-year-old grandmother. She kept leaning over me and loudly whispering that she was to walk out. She did walk out and caused a scene. I quit talking to her after that. May was my daughter's birthday. My grandmother, mom, sister, brother-in-law, niece, and nephews went to the cemetery for the birthday. My daughter's friends have been leaving little things at the grave. One thing left was a rainbow flag. My grandmother yanked the flag out. My sister wrestled the flag back but it was broken in the process. There was a blow-up and my grandmother left abruptly. When I found out, I was very upset. I texted all involved that removing things is desecration and I had alerted the maintenance people know so they watch it. I also told my daughter's friends to let me know if anything went missing. My grandmother texted back that she was praying for me and my ex. That the only person she owed an explanation was my daughter. She said she'd tell her when she faces her in heaven. I told her people that desecrate a child's grave does not go to heaven. I'm agnostic and grandmother is super religious. My sister and mom say I took it too far. Out of fairness I know I'm overly sensitive to anything about my daughter but I felt justified. It was disrespectful. So am I the a-hole? Can't say I'm keen on that take. I think it's more important to keep it about love and hope rather than scoring cheap points over inconsequential enemies of the movement. Yeah, put a flag saying I used my religion to give me a right to hate a person for what God gave them. I actually don't agree with land being reserved for anyone. It's just a way to control a place that doesn't really belong to you. Hence why the lifeblood of this planet is in steep decline. Pity there isn't a flag that screams intolerant asshole or religious nutjob. Just in case this is taken the wrong way, I have absolutely no problem with religious people. You do. Just be respectful of other people's choices, as long as they don't hurt you or anybody else, and you're fine in my book. But using religion as a font for intolerant assholery? Nope. Polish amp, Belarusian too, seeing as things are going over there. To be clear, I have a lot of friends from those countries who disapprove of what their governments are doing. However, if the flag represents their current political climate, then stick away. Intolerant asshole, yes. Religious nutjob, nope. Nazis weren't particularly religious. And, no, it wasn't us Germans who had their most devastating bombs blessed by a priest before bombing the sweet bejesus out of another country. ETA, although it may be argued that the whole Nazi cult, Führerkult, was some kind of weird pseudo-religion. But that's a whole different can of worms I'd rather not open. Two wrongs don't make a right. Everyone deserves their own identity and it should be respected even by those set in their ways. However, being just as horrid back isn't going to fix a thing. Hate to be the guy who chips in the technicality, but in the Bible it says if you believe that Jesus is Lord and was resurrected from the dead, even after doing all sorts of shit, you get eternal life. Romans 10:9-13 or something like that. Point is, the old woman likely backdoors her way into heaven anyway despite being a turd. Haven't Christian sects for hundreds of years fought over just who gets saved and who doesn't? If it were as simple and clear as believe in Jesus and you're saved no matter what, don't and you aren't no matter what, that wouldn't have happened. But no book is so thoroughly interpreted, reinterpreted, and debated over as the Bible. Especially that aspect of it. Yes and no, the view stated is pretty widespread, but not held by Catholics, where baptism is a prerequisite and being in a state of mortal sin when you die is possible, so no heaven. They also have the concept of purgatory. I know more than a few Baptists who like to say once saved always saved. When they do things that are explicitly prohibited by the church. When they notice each other in the liquor store parking lot, for instance. Matthew 7:21-23 Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. 22 Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonders in your name? 23 And then I will declare to them, I never knew you, depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. Just joining the fan club doesn't cut it, according to the man himself. Oh and NTA. Fair. I'm not a religious person at all, just love using the Bible to play devil's advocate. One of these days I'm going to bust out some Song of Songs/Solomon, dip into chapter 7, and watch all the religious folks act like it's not about incest. I get that I do the same is primarily why I know that verse up there. My next favorite is to tell people they've committed a sin equal to gay marriage if they've ever eaten shellfish according to Leviticus 11:10. Jesus himself said that you need to be charitable and love your neighbor as yourself to get to heaven. I reckon his words outweigh those of street so-and-so who sat on his ass writing letters. No, probably not, I'm making some assumptions here. The grandmother talks about seeing grandchild in heaven but no one has mentioned any religious inclination and she was brought up in an agnostic home. So in the worldview the grandma has the granddaughter would not be saved and thus be in hell. The grandmother's erroneous belief here then suggests that she's not quite getting something about Christianity and actually doesn't grasp the gospel that salvation is through faith, in what you said above, and that it's only by faith not through works. Sounds like she may think her anti-LGBTQ+ stance and actions against it might earn her way to heaven. I'm an agnostic and my ex is a very vocal atheist. About a year ago my daughter asked to go to Mass at my mom's church. She went a few times. She said she liked the atmosphere. I never told her what to believe. She had access to the Bible. I don't think she ever believed, though. I'm sorry for your loss. Initially I wanted to say ESH, because it certainly was a harsh thing to say as religion seems important to her. Presumably your grandmother believes the life she leads and choices she makes are to ultimately get to heaven. This is where I'm going NTA. This is ridiculous. Your grandmother, or anyone for that matter, needs to stop using religion to be the She can believe in God, Allah, a flying spaghetti monster or whatever she would like, but nothing gives her the right to metaphorically spit in your face by walking out of a funeral or desecrating your daughter's grave. Yes, it was harsh, but until we as a society stop pandering to religion being used as a cover for hate, it will never stop. May your daughter rest in peace and you find a way to reconcile with your family. Edit, typo. And thanks for the award and upvotes.